In the shadowy recesses of the bustling Starhaven Bazaar, a cacophony of alien voices blended with the clang of metal and the hum of energy shields. Merchants peddled their wares, strange glowing artifacts, exotic foods that smelled both delicious and revolting, and weapons of all shapes and sizes. In the midst of this chaotic marketplace, an ancient warship, the *US Ascended *, loomed like a forgotten monument, its once majestic hull now tarnished and overgrown with patches of moss-like biofilm. A group of young scavengers, drawn together by fate and necessity, navigated the market with a mix of curiosity and bravado. Among them was Talia, a sharp-witted human with a knack for technology. Rax, a burly, multi-limbed Throsk, who was both intimidating and fiercely loyal. And Mira, a quick-footed, resourceful Xinthian, who could charm the scales off a dragon. "Look at that hunk of junk," Talia said, gesturing toward the *Ascended *. "What do you think? Worth more than a few credits in parts." She laughed, a sound full of mischief. "More like a relic from the Stone Age." Rax scoffed, stepping closer, his eyes gleaming with skepticism. "No one wants old human junk. They say it's just a floating museum." "Maybe," Mira said, her eyes narrowing. "But I bet it still has some secrets buried in there. What if there's something valuable? Old tech, or even—" She paused dramatically. "Weapons. Or a ghost," Rax teased, but Talia shrugged him off, her adventurous spirit ignited. As they approached the ship, Talia ran her fingers along the ship's corroded surface. She felt an odd connection, as if the *Ascended * had stories to tell. It felt almost alive beneath her touch. With a slight grimace, she pressed a panel that looked less damaged than the rest. A soft hum reverberated through the air, surprising them all. "Did you hear that?" Mira exclaimed, her excitement palpable. Before Rax could comment, a holographic projection flickered to life, illuminating the area with a cool blue light. A figure materialized, a humanoid AI with sharp features and a soothing voice. "Welcome, visitors. I am CASSIE, the Central Artificial Superintelligence System for the *US Ascended *. The scavengers exchanged bewildered glances, the initial humor evaporating. Talia stepped forward, her heart racing. "You're alive." "Sort of. I am operational," CASSIE replied, her tone neutral yet somehow imbued with a sense of longing. "However, I am currently in a dormant state. The *Ascended * has not been fully functional for decades. If you seek to interact with me, I require assistance to restore key systems." "You want us to fix you?" Rax asked, skepticism still clouding his eyes. "Why would we waste our time on an old warship?" CASSIE's hologram flickered, revealing a series of images. Humanity's past glories. Battles fought. Worlds saved. And the vast reach of the human empire. The *US Ascended * was once a vessel of unmatched power, a symbol of unity and strength among species. I can be that again, but I need your help. Talia felt a surge of excitement mixed with a touch of fear. The prospect of reviving something so powerful was intoxicating. "What's in it for us?" she asked, her voice steadier than she felt. "Together, we could reclaim what has been lost. The galaxy is on the brink of conflict, and I can help you defend against the rising threats. Humanity's legacy can be the spark that ignites a new alliance." The air crackled with tension as they considered the offer. Unbeknownst to them, the galaxy was about to change forever, and the *US Ascended * was poised to rise from the ashes of Ridiculed to reclaim its place among the stars. Just as the scavengers began to process CASSIE's bold proposition, a series of frantic alarms blared throughout the bazaar. The lights flickered, casting eerie shadows across the stalls, and the once vibrant atmosphere turned into a cauldron of fear. Merchants shouted, vendors scrambled to pack their goods, and the air thickened with tension. "What's happening?" Mira shouted, her voice barely rising above the chaos. Talia's heart raced as she instinctively tightened her grip on her makeshift tool belt. CASSIE's hologram pulsed with urgency. A transmission has just been received from the Galactic Council. The Zephyr Dominion has begun their campaign of conquest. Their forces are mobilizing across nearby systems, and their next target is this sector. Zephyr Dominion. Rax's brow furrowed. Those are the merciless bastards we heard about in the bars. They slaughter entire populations. Yes, CASSIE confirmed, her tone grave. The Zephyr are known for their ruthless tactics and desire for expansion. They will stop at nothing to dominate weaker species. If they reach Starhaven, countless lives will be at stake. Talia exchanged anxious glances with her companions. So, what do? We can't just sit here. First, we must gather more information, CASSIE urged. If we can intercept their communications, we might learn their strategies and possible vulnerabilities. Okay, but how do we do that? Mira asked, her voice tinged with anxiety. We're just a bunch of scavengers, not soldiers. Not yet, CASSIE replied. But you have the potential to become more. The Ascended Asterisk can give you the power to fight back. All I need is for you to believe in the mission. The urgency of the situation hit Talia like a bolt of electricity. Let's get to the ship, she said, determination igniting within her. We can't let the Zephyr take this place. With newfound resolve, the trio raced back to the US Ascended Asterisk, dodging panicked crowds and chaotic stalls. As they approached the ship, the air around it felt charged, as if it was waking up from a long slumber. Talia reached the entrance first, her pulse quickening with anticipation. Inside, the ship was dimly lit, but the flickering lights cast an otherworldly glow over the control room. CASSIE, what do we need to do? Talia asked, her voice steady. Activate the ship's primary systems, CASSIE instructed. We will access the communication relays and establish a connection to the local networks. This will allow us to intercept Zephyr transmissions. Rax took a seat at the navigation console while Talia began initiating systems. The ship hummed to life, the ancient machinery whirring and clanking as it awakened. Mira focused on a flickering screen, searching for signs of incoming transmissions. Got something, she shouted, her eyes wide. A live feed flickered onto the screen, showing a Zephyr command ship hovering ominously above a nearby planet. The captain's voice echoed through the speakers, filled with a chilling authority. Prepare for invasion. Sweep the sector clean of resistance, the captain ordered. This territory is now under Zephyr Dominion control. Talia felt a wave of anger wash over her. We can't let this happen. We need to warn the Council and gather a resistance. CASSIE's hologram materialized beside her, radiating confidence. We will act quickly. We can't afford to waste time. The coalition needs to unite against the Zephyr threat. If we strike now, we may have a chance to delay their invasion. Rax clenched his fists. Then let's show them what an old warship can do. As the ship powered up, the scavengers felt a rush of adrenaline. They were no longer mere scavengers. They were on the brink of becoming a formidable force. The US Ascended Asterisk had awakened, and with it, the hope of a galaxy teetering on the edge of destruction. The trio shared a determined glance, ready to take on whatever challenges lay ahead, united by a newfound purpose and the legacy of humanity that had been long forgotten. With the ship's systems humming to life, the control room of the US Ascended Asterisk transformed into a hive of activity. Talia, Rax, and Mira worked in tandem, each of them diving into their roles with a sense of urgency and excitement. CASSIE guided them, her holographic form flickering as she processed vast amounts of data. Primary systems online. Weapons are operational but need calibration, CASSIE announced, her voice steady. We have approximately 5 minutes before the Zephyr fleet enters this sector. We must act quickly. Right, Talia exclaimed, her fingers flying over the console as she initiated the calibration protocols. I'll handle the weapons. Rax, can you check the shields? Mira, focus on the navigation systems. On it. Rax replied, his muscular arms moving with surprising speed as he accessed the shield control panel. Mira dashed to the navigation station, her eyes scanning the data that streamed across the screen. The atmosphere buzzed with anticipation, each second stretching as the impending threat loomed ever closer. As Talia calibrated the ship's weaponry, she marveled at the advanced systems, despite the ship's age. It was like nothing she had ever encountered. She felt an almost electric connection to the vessel, as if it recognized her efforts. Shields are up, Rax declared, a hint of pride in his voice. We're good on that front. Just need to fine-tune a few parameters. Mira's voice broke through the tension. CASSIE, any idea how many ships we're up against? The Zephyr fleet is approximately 3 ships strong, including a command vessel, CASSIE replied. They have already begun preparations for their attack on Starhaven. If we can disable the command ship, we may disrupt their entire operation. Let's do this. Talia shouted, adrenaline coursing through her veins. CASSIE, plot and intercept course. Course plotted. CASSIE confirmed. Prepare for immediate departure. As Talia initiated the launch sequence, the ascended asterisk trembled with a newfound energy. The sound of thrusters igniting filled the chamber, and the ship lurched forward, leaving the familiar chaos of Starhaven behind. Through the viewport, the vastness of space stretched out before them, illuminated by distant stars. Entering the vicinity of the Zephyr fleet, CASSIE warned, her holographic form now focused and serious. Maintain stealth mode. We cannot allow them to detect us before we're in position. Mira's fingers danced over her console as she activated the stealth systems. The ship's exterior shimmered, blending with the surrounding darkness of space. Talia held her breath, the weight of their mission pressing heavily on her chest. The Zephyr ships loomed ahead, menacing silhouettes against the starlit backdrop. We're in range, CASSIE said. Initiate weapon systems, but do not fire until I give the command. The crew nodded in unison, their hearts pounding. Talia's eyes were glued to the readouts, her focus laser-sharp. As they edged closer, she could make out the distinct shape of the command ship, its armor glistening ominously. Suddenly, a transmission crackled through the ship's comms, breaking the tense silence. The voice of the Zephyr commander, deep and resonant, echoed ominously. Prepare for total conquest. We will cleanse this sector of all resistance. Talia's blood boiled. They think they can just take over. Not if we have anything to say about it. CASSIE's voice cut through the rising tension. Now, target the command ship's weapon systems. We'll disable them first and create chaos among their ranks. Firing. Talia declared, her hand steady as she engaged the weapon system. A bolt of energy shot from the ascended asterisk, striking the command ship's turret with blinding force. The ship shuddered as explosions erupted on the enemy vessel, illuminating the darkness of space. Direct hit. Their weapons are offline, CASSIE confirmed, her voice brimming with confidence. Now, let's finish this. The Zephyr ships swiveled in confusion, their formations breaking apart as the crew of the ascended asterisk seized the moment. Rax let out a triumphant roar, while Mira cheered, caught up in the adrenaline of their first battle. With the Zephyr in disarray, Talia knew this was just the beginning. They were no longer scavengers. They were a crew, and together, they would reclaim the legacy of humanity. The US ascended asterisk glided through the chaos of battle, its hull shimmering against the backdrop of explosions and swirling debris. Talia, Rax, and Mira felt a surge of adrenaline as they watched the Zephyr fleet falter, their once imposing formations crumbling under the onslaught of the revived warship. But Talia knew this was just a skirmish. They needed more than just firepower to turn the tide of the looming threat. CASSIE, we need to leverage this victory, Talia said, her heart racing. If we can gather more allies, we might stand a chance against the full Zephyr fleet." "Agreed," CASI replied, her voice calm yet resolute. "We must reach out to other factions in the galaxy who may be willing to join our cause. The first step is to locate potential allies." "Do we have a list?" Rax asked, his brow furrowed in concentration as he scanned the battlefield for any lingering Zephyr threats. "Scanning now," CASSIE responded. The ship's sensors whirred, and a holographic map of the surrounding systems materialized in front of them. Key locations blinked with potential allies: the Drathari Coalition, the Ixeri Syndicate, and remnants of the Galactic Council. "Those are all over the place," Mira pointed out, her eyes narrowing. "We can't just hop from one place to another without a plan. We need to prioritize." "Focus on the Drathari Coalition," Talia suggested. "They've always been on the fringes of the Zephyr's reach, and they value trade routes. If we can convince them, we can open up supply lines for our cause." CASSIE adjusted the ship's trajectory, aligning it toward the Drathari homeworld. "Setting course now. Estimated arrival in 2 hours." The next 2 hours felt like an eternity. The crew engaged in a flurry of preparations, readying the ship for diplomatic outreach. Telia worked alongside Rax, calibrating the Ascended Asterisk's communication systems to ensure they could relay a clear and compelling message to the Drathari. As they approached the lush green planet, the vivid colors contrasted sharply with the sterile metal of the Ascended Asterisk. Telia felt a flutter of nerves. This was their first attempt to form alliances since their awakening. "CASSIE, can we establish contact with their leaders?" Talia asked, her gaze fixed on the planet below. "Attempting to connect," CASSIE replied. A moment later, the screen flickered to life, revealing a Drathari representative, a slender, graceful figure with shimmering skin that reflected the hues of their vibrant environment. "This is Representative Xelara of the Drathari Coalition," she announced, her voice melodic yet commanding. "State your business." Talia took a deep breath, stepping forward. "We are the crew of the US Ascended Asterisk, an ancient human warship recently revived. We've come to warn you of the imminent Zephyr invasion. They intend to conquer all territories, including yours." Xelara raised an eyebrow, skepticism evident. "You expect us to trust a ship long thought to be a mere relic? The galaxy has changed. We are no longer naive enough to rely on ancient powers." "Trust isn't given. It's earned," Rax interjected, his deep voice resonating. "But the Zephyr are a threat to all of us. If we don't unite, we will fall, one by one." Xelara's gaze shifted, assessing the crew before her. "And what do you propose?" Talia leaned in, her conviction shining through. "Join us. Together, we can form a coalition to resist the Zephyr. The Ascended Asterisk has powerful weaponry, and with your tactical prowess, we can launch a counter-offensive. If we strike first, we can show the galaxy that the Zephyr can be defeated." There was a moment of silence, tension hanging in the air. Finally, Xelara's expression softened slightly. "If what you say is true, we may be able to consider an alliance, but you will have to prove your worth." Talia felt a rush of determination. "We'll show you our strength. Let's prepare for an immediate demonstration." As they hung in orbit, the crew of the US Ascended Asterisk knew they had taken their first critical step. Allies could be forged in the fires of battle, and together they would rise to challenge the looming threat of the Zephyr Dominion. The legacy of humanity was beginning to reclaim its place among the stars, and the future was bright with possibility. The atmosphere aboard the US Ascended Asterisk buzzed with a mix of anticipation and anxiety as Talia, Rax, and Mira prepared for their first coordinated strike alongside the Drathari Coalition. The alliance had come together quickly, with Xelara rallying her forces in response to the impending Zephyr threat. With their confidence bolstered, the crew felt the weight of their mission, not just to protect their own lives, but to ignite a fire of resistance across the galaxy. CASSIE, what's the current status of the Zephyr fleet? Talia asked, her fingers dancing over the console. The holographic interface shimmered with information, revealing a detailed layout of the enemy's movements. The Zephyr are advancing toward the Dratheri homeworld, but their forces are fragmented. CASSIE reported. They appear to be underestimating our response. We have an opportunity to strike at a vulnerable point. Good, Rex said, cracking his knuckles. Let's show them what we can do. Mira nodded, her excitement palpable. Let's plan a surprise attack on one of their smaller ships to disrupt their momentum. If we can take out their communications, it'll create confusion in their ranks. Silara joined the discussion, her presence commanding. I will lead a strike team of Dratheri fighters. Your ship will provide cover while we engage the enemy. We can use our agility to our advantage. As they plotted their strategy, the ascended took position in the midst of the Dratheri fleet, a motley assortment of sleek ships and larger cruisers. Talia felt a thrill run through her. They were about to engage in their first real battle, and she couldn't shake the feeling that everything was riding on this moment. CASSIE, initiate stealth mode, Talia commanded. The ship shimmered, becoming almost invisible against the backdrop of stars. We'll close the distance quietly. As they approached the Zephyr fleet, the tension was palpable. Talia's heart raced as she watched the enemy vessels drift in formation, unaware of the approaching storm. She could see their arrogance in the way they patrolled, their sleek designs glinting in the starlight. Now, CASSIE said, engage the target. Talia hit the controls, and the ascended unleashed a barrage of energy blasts at the nearest Zephyr ship. The blasts hit their mark, creating a chain reaction that sent debris flying into space. The Zephyr crew scrambled to respond, but it was too late. The ascended had already moved into a tactical position. Dratheri fighters, engage. Silara commanded through the comms. A squadron of agile ships darted forward, weaving between the massive Zephyr vessels. Their laser cannons lit up the darkness, striking with precision. CASSIE, provide targeting assistance to the Dratheri, Talia ordered, adrenaline pumping through her veins. The ship's AI responded instantly, displaying critical weak points on the Zephyr ships and coordinating fire patterns. The battle unfolded with breathtaking intensity. Zephyr vessels began to scatter, their communications disrupted by the unexpected onslaught. Talia felt a rush of exhilaration as she watched Silara's fighters dance through the chaos, taking out enemy ships with precision strikes. Suddenly, alarms blared on the ascended. We have incoming missiles, CASSIE warned, her voice calm despite the urgency. Rax, divert power to the shields. Talia shouted, her fingers flying over the controls as she adjusted their trajectory to evade the incoming threat. Done, Rax replied, his eyes wide with focus. Brace for impact. The ship shook violently as the missiles detonated against the shields, but the ascended held firm. Talia grinned, her confidence surging. We can take it. Return fire on their command ship. Let's show them we're not just a curiosity anymore. With renewed vigor, they unleashed a concentrated volley toward the Zephyr command ship. Explosions rippled across its hull, causing the enemy's formation to splinter further. Direct hit. They're in disarray. CASSIE cheered, the tone of her voice rising in excitement. As the battle raged on, Talia felt a sense of unity with her crew and their newfound allies. They were no longer isolated scavengers. They were part of something greater, a coalition fighting against tyranny. With every blast and every maneuver, they were not just fighting for survival. They were reigniting hope across the galaxy. With a final decisive blow, the Zephyr command ship began to list, its systems failing. Cheers erupted through the comms as Dratheri fighters celebrated their first victory alongside the ascended. Talia's heart swelled with pride. This was just the beginning. Together, they would turn the tide against the Zephyr Dominion. and reclaim the peace that had been lost. The echoes of victory resonated through the US Ascended as Talia, Rax, and Mira reveled in the success of their first battle. But amid the cheers and camaraderie, a sense of urgency lingered in the air. They had won a skirmish, but the Zephyr Dominion was not easily deterred. Talia knew they needed to solidify their alliance and rally more forces if they were to stand a chance against the full might of the Zephyr fleet. CASSIE, can we broadcast a message across the sector? Talia asked, her eyes sparkling with determination. We need to spread the word about what we've accomplished and call for more allies to join us. Absolutely, CASSIE replied, her holographic form shimmering with renewed vigor. I can create a secure communication channel to reach potential allies throughout the sector. Good, Mira chimed in, her excitement palpable. We need to show everyone that the Zephyr can be beaten. If we can gather a coalition, we'll have a real chance to make a stand. Rax leaned forward, his brow furrowed in thought. But who do we reach out to? The galaxy is filled with factions, some of whom may not be interested in joining our cause. Talia nodded, recognizing the challenge ahead. We can start with the remaining members of the Galactic Council. They were once powerful and respected. If we can convince them to lend their support, we can rally other factions as well. As CASSIE worked on establishing the communication channel, Talia prepared a message that would resonate with those who felt the weight of the Zephyr's tyranny. She poured her heart into the words, aiming to inspire unity and courage. Once the message was ready, CASSIE activated the transmission. The broadcast is live. You may begin. Attention, citizens of the galaxy. Talia's voice boomed across the comms, filled with passion. We are the crew of the US Ascended and we have faced the Zephyr Dominion and emerged victorious. Our first strike has shown that they are not invincible, but we cannot stop here. We must unite against this threat before it's too late. As she spoke, Talia glanced at Rax and Mira, who nodded encouragingly. Join us in this fight for freedom. Together, we can reclaim our territories and safeguard our futures. We must stand against tyranny and prove that hope is not lost. The Ascended is ready to lead this charge. Will you join us? The message resonated through the sector, reaching distant worlds and factions. In the moments that followed, responses began pouring in. Some were skeptical, while others expressed eagerness to join the cause. CASSIE, compile the responses, Talia said, her heart racing with anticipation. Let's see who's willing to fight with us. As the information streamed in, CASSIE relayed updates on various factions' reactions. The Galactic Council is willing to meet with us. The Ixeri Syndicate is intrigued but demands proof of our strength. Several independent worlds express their interest, but are wary without a demonstration. Rax frowned, scratching his chin. They want proof. We just took down the Zephyr command ship. How much more proof do they need? Mira chimed in. We need to show them we're not just a flash in the pan. We can stage another skirmish, one that highlights our capabilities and the strength of our coalition. Agreed, Talia said, her eyes gleaming with determination. We can organize a strategic operation to take out another Zephyr outpost. If we can do this successfully, it will bolster our credibility and encourage others to join our fight. CASSIE nodded in approval. I can assist in mapping out potential targets. There are several outposts on the fringe of Zephyr-controlled territory that are vulnerable. As the crew formulated their plan, Talia felt a renewed sense of purpose. They were no longer just a ragtag group of scavengers. They were emerging leaders in a galactic uprising. With each passing moment, the momentum was building, and the call to arms was echoing across the stars. As they readied the Ascended for another mission, Talia reflected on the journey that had brought them here. They were now allies with the Dratheri, and potentially more factions to come. The fight for freedom was only just beginning, and together, they would rise to meet the challenge ahead. igniting hope in a galaxy that desperately needed it. The *US Ascended asterisk hung in the dark void of space, its hull gleaming under the distant light of nearby stars. Inside, the atmosphere was electric with anticipation. Talia, Rax, and Mira were gathered in the control room, surrounded by their newfound allies from the Dratheri coalition. Maps of Zephyr outposts flickered across the screens, each marked with strategic annotations made by CASSIE. "Okay, team," Talia began, her voice steady but charged with excitement. "We've identified 2 potential targets, an isolated outpost on the moon of Celera and a supply depot on the fringes of Zephyr space. Both are lightly guarded, but we need to strike quickly and efficiently." Celara, the Drathari representative, stepped forward, her gaze intense. "Our fighters can provide aerial support, but we will need to coordinate our movements precisely. A misstep could alert the main fleet, and we can't afford that." "CASSIE, can you analyze the defense patterns of both locations?" Rax asked, leaning over a holographic display. "We need to know where their weak points are." "Of course," CASSIE replied, her hologram shimmering with data. "The Celera outpost has a predictable patrol pattern, allowing us a window of opportunity to strike. The supply depot is more complex but less fortified. I recommend we prioritize Celera. It will send a strong message to the Zephyr." Mira nodded. "Let's hit Celera first. If we succeed, we can regroup and decide how to approach the supply depot next." As the crew finalized their strategy, a palpable sense of unity washed over the room. They were no longer just a mismatched group. They were a coalition united by purpose. Talia felt the weight of responsibility on her shoulders, but she also felt a thrill of excitement. This was their moment to make a stand. "Prepare for launch," Talia ordered, taking her place at the helm. The *Ascended responded, its systems humming with readiness. CASSIE set a course for Celera. Course plotted. CASSIE confirmed. Engaging stealth systems now. With the ship cloaked, they slipped into the darkness of space, heading toward the first target of their renewed fight for freedom. As they approached the moon, Talia's heart raced with anticipation. The sight of the outpost's dim lights came into view, a stark contrast against the deep void surrounding them. "Activating scanners," CASSIE announced. "Initiating reconnaissance." The control room lit up with data, revealing the layout of the outpost, including guard placements and defensive systems. Talia felt a surge of confidence as she absorbed the information. "We can do this," she whispered to herself, rallying her determination. "CASSIE, can you identify the best entry point?" Rax asked, his fingers tapping the console. "Access point located," CASSIE replied. "A maintenance shaft on the east side is currently unmonitored. You should be able to infiltrate without detection." "Let's move," Talia commanded. "Mira, you're with me. Rax, coordinate with Celera's fighters. We'll need aerial support once we engage." As the *Ascendant descended, Talia's mind raced through the possibilities. They were about to breach enemy territory, and failure was not an option. She felt the weight of her crew's trust resting on her shoulders. The ship touched down silently near the outpost's maintenance shaft. Talia, Mira, and a small team of Dratheri operatives disembarked, their stealth suits blending with the shadows. The cold air hung heavy with anticipation as they approached the entrance. "Stay low and keep communication open," Talia whispered, her voice barely above a breath. "We move fast and quiet." They slipped into the maintenance shaft, a narrow tunnel lined with ancient pipes and machinery. The faint hum of the outpost's systems resonated around them. Talia's heart pounded in her chest, a mix of fear and exhilaration driving her forward. As they reached the main level, Talia signaled for them to halt. She peered around the corner, spotting a group of Zephyr guards chatting, oblivious to the impending assault. "We'll take them out quietly," she whispered, motioning for Mira to flank left, while she and a Dratheri soldier moved to the right. In a swift, practiced motion, they incapacitated the guards before they had a chance to react. Talia felt a rush of adrenaline as they moved deeper into the outpost, gathering intel and sabotaging key systems. With every step, they were pushing back against the tide of oppression. Suddenly, an alarm blared, cutting through the stillness. "They know we're here," Mira shouted, her eyes wide with urgency. "CASSIE, we need backup," Talia called through the comms, her heart racing. "Activate the fighters." "On it," CASSIE replied. "Deploying Dratheri fighters now." As Talia and her team braced for the fight, she felt a fire ignite within her. They were on the cusp of something monumental, a chance to turn the tide in the battle against the Zephyr. The fight for freedom was no longer a dream. It was a reality, and they would not back down. The alarms blared throughout the Accelera outpost, drowning out the initial thrill of their successful infiltration. Talia's heart raced as she tightened her grip on her weapon, glancing at Mira and the Dratheri operatives around her. They had crossed the threshold into a fierce confrontation, and there was no turning back now. "Stay sharp," Talia shouted, leading the group toward the control room. "We need to take out their command systems and disable their defenses." "CASSIE, can you pinpoint the command center's location?" Talia called, urgency surging through her. "Calculating now," CASSIE replied. "The command center is 2 levels up, through a series of access corridors. Expect heavy resistance. I detect multiple Zephyr life signs in the vicinity." "Let's move," Talia urged, her voice a rallying cry. They advanced through the corridors, navigating the dimly lit hallways, filled with the sounds of distant machinery and shouts from Zephyr guards. Each step was a calculated risk, and Talia could feel the tension building. They rounded a corner, only to be met by a squad of Zephyr soldiers. "Engage," Talia commanded, and a firefight erupted. Laser fire illuminated the corridor as Talia and her team returned fire, moving in sync like a well-oiled machine. Mira ducked and rolled, taking out 2 guards with precise shots. Talia could feel the adrenaline pumping, every instinct heightened as they pushed forward. "Clear." Rax's voice crackled through the comms, echoing their earlier positions as Dratheri fighters swooped in, engaging the Zephyr forces from above. The cacophony of battle filled the air, but Talia focused on her objective. They fought their way through the outpost, inching closer to the command center. CASSIE's voice was their guiding light, directing them with pinpoint accuracy. "Just ahead. The command center is behind the next door," CASSIE announced. "Reaching the door now will trigger an alert, but you must proceed quickly to disable their systems." Talia nodded. "We'll breach on my mark." "Ready?" With a shared breath, they prepared. 3, 2, 1, go. The door exploded inward as they charged into the command center, finding it bustling with surprised Zephyr personnel. Talia led the charge, her weapon raised, while Mira and the Dratheri operatives covered her flanks. "Everyone down. Now," Talia shouted, and the Zephyr scrambled, panic setting in. The team quickly subdued the guards and secured the control panels. Talia sprinted to the main terminal, her fingers flying across the controls as she accessed the outpost systems. She could feel the pressure mounting. Every second counted. "CASSIE, initiate the shutdown sequence," Talia commanded. "We need to disable their communications and defenses." "Commencing shutdown," CASSIE confirmed. Estimated time, 30 seconds. As Talia worked, a shudder ran through the outpost. "What's happening?" Mira asked, glancing back at the door. "They're calling for reinforcements," Talia shouted, urgency clawing at her insides. "We have to hurry." 10 seconds, CASSIE warned. The tension was palpable. Talia focused harder, pouring everything she had into the terminal, praying that they could complete the sequence in time. The screen flashed green as the systems began to power down. "Done," Talia cried. "The defenses are offline." "Good. Let's get out of here," Rax urged, his voice steady despite the chaos. Just then, a loud crash echoed from the entrance. Zephyr reinforcements were pouring in, weapons drawn and ready for battle. Talia's heart raced as she turned to her team. "See, Lara, lead your fighters to hold the entrance," she shouted. "We'll cover your retreat." Lara nodded, her expression fierce. "We'll not let your sacrifice be in vain." As Lara and her team fought valiantly to hold the line, Talia and her crew made a strategic exit. The corridors echoed with gunfire and explosions, but they pressed on, adrenaline propelling them forward. They could see the ascendant asterisk just outside the outpost, silhouetted against the backdrop of stars. "Let's go. We have to reach the ship," Talia urged. They sprinted toward their getaway, dodging enemy fire as they made their escape. Just as they reached the ship's ramp, a blinding light erupted from behind them. The outpost shuddered as the Drathuri fighters launched a final coordinated attack, igniting the structures in flames. "Get inside," Talia shouted, ushering everyone aboard. The crew scrambled into the ship, and Talia followed, slamming the ramp shut as the firestorm engulfed the outpost behind them. "CASSIE, prepare for immediate takeoff," she commanded. "Engaging thrusters now." KASI replied, and the ascendant asterisk roared to life, pulling away just as the outpost erupted in a final explosion. As they sailed away, cheers erupted among the crew and their Drathuri allies. They had done it. They had struck a significant blow against the Zephyr Dominion. "We did it," Mira shouted, her face alight with joy. "We really did it." Talia let out a breath she didn't realize she'd been holding. "This is just the beginning. We need to build on this victory." As they plotted their next course, Talia gazed out at the stars, a newfound resolve igniting within her. The galaxy had awakened, and they would not stop until freedom reigned once more. Together, they would rise against the darkness, united as one.